JJ Savani, Artistic Director, Iconic Professional. Big round of applause for JJ Savani. Along with JJ Savani, please help me welcome on the stage Bony Sasidharan.
1, 2. Can you hear me? Amazing.
Make some noise for Bony.
Bonnie, how are we?
Hi. I'm good. How are you, JJ?
We're back together again.
Yes.
I've asked how you are. You've asked how I am. Bombay, how are you? Bombay seems asleep. I think Bombay's asleep. Do you get a bit more energy in Chennai?
Yeah, kind of. But Bombay has a different energy altogether.
Energy altogether. Let's try again. Bombay, how are you all feeling? All good?
Can't hear you.
I can't hear them. So let's
How are you
go back.
feeling?
Bonnie, not enough energy. You go back to Kolkata. I'll go back to London.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. We'll give you one more chance. After 3, I want to hear you make some noise. 1, 2, 3. Much better. Okay, so
Let's do this.
Bonnie, talk to me. What are we going to be doing today?
Okay, so I'm going to do a textured bob.
Nice.
So again, sort of a line, clean line with a lot of movement and a solid fringe. I know those who know me, I love cutting fringes. Fringes are my favorite and I love to do that.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So Bonnie will be breaking it down as well as I will as well. If you have questions, please do ask us. We are proficient in English, Hindi, Gujarati, Tamil.
Malayalam. Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing a nice layered haircut on my model because he has quite thick curly hair. So without further ado, let's get started. Can I have my 2 models, please? Come and take a seat for us.
Come on, darling. Yeah. Sit with, and don't cross your legs. Yeah. Okay. So let me quickly explain you the sections. JJ, is that okay?
Let's go, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, I've removed a tiny fringe section for myself. Now, that's really important when you're cutting hair, when you're prepping hair, and you're cutting a fringe. And if it's going to be solid, please make sure you remove your section and don't let your fringe slit. अगर गीले बालों में आपने side parting या center parting में रखा है, जब आप dry करोगे, you're going to have a tough time getting that straight line in it. Okay? So make sure your fringe is clipped away. Then you're going to have your top sort of a horseshoe section. So I'm working according to the head shape. It's more flatter. So I'm not taking a round horseshoe. I'm just complementing the head shape. Then I have the second horseshoe sort of a section. And then I have my baseline. Yeah? So when I'm going to start my haircut, my baseline se cut karna shuru karunga. So she requested one thing that I don't want it to go too shorter. Yeah? So I'm keeping it somewhere slightly overhanging her shoulders. Yeah, that's the line I'm working with. Yeah, JJ.
So the first section I'm actually taking at the moment is I'm literally going from the apex to each ear to section out the back of the hair because I'm going to start layering the back of the head first. I'm going to be taking my center profile and literally be working a square layer all the way around the back of the head because he's got nice curly hair. What I want to do is when I'm taking the tension on the curly hair, I'm keeping it as a natural tension. I'm not pulling too tight. Because as you know, when you cut curly, dense hair, the more tension you pull and cut, the shorter it springs back. So I want to try and cut the hair in its most natural position. Again, I'm going to make sure it's completely wet so I can get a nice natural grip on it, nothing too harsh.
So I'm cutting a first outline. I'm letting my hair rest on my comb. I'm cutting it with zero tension. I want the hair to have maximum movement. Yeah, I don't want to have any control. I'm not going to hold it tight. I'm just letting the hair sit at its natural movement. I'm cutting it with point cut. So point cut, right? So मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे? I'm moving my chair around. जब आप salon में रहेंगे and you want to have a nice clean round shape, please move around. That's one way. अगर आपको round shape नहीं चाहिए, you want a sort of a length that's going down, A line. Stand in one position. Do not move. Don't try to do this. Yeah. तो क्या रहता है? जहाँ पे आपको आपका elbow lift करना पड़ेगा, वहाँ पे आपको दिक्कत आएगी, और जहाँ पे आपका elbow drop होगा, वहाँ पे आप आसानी से कट करोगे. So you're gonna have a difficulty in balancing that. right? So what you can do is stand behind your client. Do not move. Yeah, you can move, but do not move much. Straight. Let the hair come to you.
So
Yeah.
what I've done is
both
sectioned
sides.
out.
That's it.
All I've done is section out my center profile. I've taken my length from the exterior, however long I want the hair. Razor cut it because I really want that texture in there. And then all I've done is pulled out everything from 90 degrees and taken my guideline from the section below. So Bonnie, you're saying you love doing fringes. What's the story behind this? You love doing fringes because...
Okay, so yeah, one, it gives a lot of definition. It's one of the easiest way to change a client's personality because आप कितना लेयर ऐड करोगे, एक तरीका रहता है कि आप एक बार लेंथ एकदम शॉर्ट कर दें, क्विक वे ऑफ चेंजिंग, बट समटाइम्स क्लाइंट को लेंथ शॉर्ट नहीं करनी है, तो बेस्ट ऑप्शन वह रहेगा अगर आप फेस को फ्रेम करो. एंड सबसे आसान तरीका रहता है वो है यू कट अ फ्रिंज, व्हाटएवर यू वांट to cut a nice curtain bangs, you want to cut a nice round fringe, or you want to cut a solid fringe. Every fringe has a story. और हर फ्रिंज के साथ आपको एक डेफिनेशन मिलता है. जितना वो राउंड रहेगा या फिर जितना सॉफ्ट रहेगा, फेस में जो आपको वो इम्पैक्ट आएगा उतना सॉफ्ट रहेगा, और वो जितना एंगुलर रहेगा उतना ही स्ट्रॉन्ग आएगा. सो कभी कभार जब आप एक सॉलिड फ्रिंज, स्ट्रेट फ्रिंज क्रिएट करते हैं, योर क्लाइंट इज गोना लुक वेरी फियर्स. या people might just stay an arm distance away from her. So that's my love for fringe. I don't think it's going to be an ever-ending story.
No. So again, like you mentioned, every time I'm taking my next section, I move with the person because I want to pull out at 90 degrees to maintain an even shape and to avoid over direction. Otherwise, if I stand here and start pulling the hair from here, here, I'm going to end up with a longer length here and a shorter length here because the distance the hair has traveled from here to here is more. So instead of me, I'm a lazy person. I'm not walking around like Bonnie. My chair has wheels. The chair itself is a tool. Use it. Yeah. Sometimes if you're in limited space, you can take advantage of this. And I'm literally taking triangular sections directly from the apex, combing this hair out the way and moving on to my next one until I get to behind the ear. Again, we take the hair. My guide is there from the bottom. I can move that hair and I'm literally just slicing through. Comes down, I take the next section. We come down, my guide is there again, and I slice away.
Okay, so I'm done with my outline. You can see that it's nice and layered. So सबसे पहले मैंने क्या किया? I've cut the hair at natural fall with zero tension. उसके बाद मैंने इसको elevate किया है at 90 degree round. Yeah, it's not square, it's 90 degree round. अगर आप square में जाओगे और flat हो जाएगा, और ज़्यादा elevate करोगे और ज़्यादा flat हो जाएगा. So जितना आपको यहाँ पे flatness चाहिए, कभी कभार you do a bob on a hair that's extremely thick and coarse, right? So you don't want the ends to look too bulky. तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं? You can actually sort of create an undercut and start developing your bob from here. Yeah, that looks beautiful. So क्या रहेगा? Weight भी निकल जाएगा and you will still have a beautiful line on your bob, right? I have a question now. Ask questions, please.
Exactly. Any questions? If there's anything you do not understand or you just have questions on, please do ask us. Well, I know we can come down into the audience or I can get a mic out to you guys.
Yeah.
Because the more you ask us, the more you will end up learning. So if you do have questions, please make yourself aware and I'm sure one of the hosts or the anchors will come out and, you know, allow you to ask your question.
Yeah, there's also a reason why we love to answer questions, because every time you ask a question, the question gets processed in our head and it's a new learning for us. Sometimes you never thought about that, but your question sort of lingers that whole process in our head and we'll be able to process a complete new haircut. What do you think, JJ?
Definitely, I totally agree. It allows us to keep refreshing our memory as well as knowledge, and gives us another outlook because we may rethink it based on something else we've learned. You know, even like today, I've been cutting hair with you now, what, 2 days now?
Yeah.
Our last set, very similar haircuts, but two very different techniques, you know? And again, it's education. It's one of these, I say, if you are a stylist that thinks you know everything, put away your scissors. Your time in the industry is gone. You know, it's a consistent learning curve, whether you've been cutting hair 2 years, 20 years, 80 years, whatever. If you close yourself to that opportunity or openness to learn, you know, you're stopping your development, which ultimately means you're not going to go far in the industry. You're limiting your growth, you know.
Okay, so I am working around my client. Now, if you can see, I'm moving the head. जब आप cut कर रहे हैं, you want to have a nice natural fall. आप ये tilt करते हैं normally, right? इसके बाद जब आप side में tilt करेंगे, make sure you bring the head back to normal, and उसके बाद side में tilt करो. नहीं तो क्या होगा, यहाँ पे रहेंगे, आप ऐसे tilt करोगे, तो यहाँ पे जो line जाएगी आपकी, वो गलत हो जाएगी. So जब भी आप head move करेंगे, always make sure bring it back to normal, and then tilt. Yeah, don't break the head. Just tilt.
So I'm coming on to the final section now, the back of the hair.
Okay.
Once I've done this, I'm going to start going on to the front sections. And then at the end, come back to a little bit of personalization. Going back to personalization, anybody can replicate their haircut. But what makes the haircut different is your personalization. I know Bonnie gave a perfect example of this earlier this afternoon, where there's times where one of your clients wants to come to you in the salon, like you're fully booked.
Yeah.
So they sit with another stylist. The other stylist does the same haircut as you would, very technical. Like in the next time they're in your salon, you ask them, how was the haircut? They say to you, it was good, lekin not as good as yours. Or there was something different. Why? Because that person has personalized that haircut. So we'll go on to some personalization tips very shortly. So now I'm going to remove these sections here and I'm going to start working on Bonnie's favorite, the fringe, which is going to give the characteristics and, you know, it's what I think is going to frame the whole haircut. Again, how you use your sectioning patterns, how you cut, to me personally, doesn't matter. As long as you're doing everything technically correct. I'm one of these. Most people would work the back, then the side, then the front. I like working the back, then I like working the front. Because the main thing somebody looks first of all at your haircut, they do not look at the back. They look at you front on. So I'd look at him, I wouldn't go, "Tumhara haircut hai na, aaj sahi nahi lag rahe." I would look at him from the front. Bro, your haircut's not looking good. Did you go to another barber? So I look at the focal points on a haircut. To me, I look at the front of somebody's haircut because when you greet somebody, you're greeting them front on. And then the back of the haircut. If somebody's walking past, we all do it as stylists, whether you want to admit it or not. Whether you're taking the local train, whether you're taking an aeroplane, waiting in the queue for whatever. As a stylist, tell me if I'm wrong. There must be a point in your life where you're standing in the queue and you're looking at the back of the haircut and you're like, what was the stylist thinking? Like, why has he done this? So the two focal points for me, front and back. And then I go on to how I'm going to create and connect the sides. So we're going to go apex to recession. Because we're going to start framing the face.
Okay, so if you notice that I'm taking my section, I'm elevating it at 90 round, but I'm standing on the opposite side of my client. Yeah? Why? Opposite side क्यों, right? Good question. Now, मैं ऐसे भी cut कर सकता हूँ, right? But it's a very awkward position for me, right? और क्या होगा, कट करते करते मेरा हाथ ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है और मेरा एंगल बिगड़ेगा. बस उसी चीज को अगर आप ask your client to tilt the head slightly forward, yeah, lift the section. Now I'm in a much comfortable standing position. Comb it. Another thing, I can see it properly. Yeah, if your floor is white, perfect. If your floor is black, however, but इस position में आपको साफ दिखाई देगा कि आपका angle बराबर रहेगा and you have a better control on your section. That's why, right? And it's comfortable.
So I'm just deciding the length on my fringe right now. I'm just razoring through it. Because this is going to be the center point of the fringe where I'm going to start framing the face. And I'm happy with that. I'm now going to split this section into two, one either side. And this is how I'm going to start framing the haircut. I'm going to take small triangular sections and work my way across the head.
Perfect.
Using the top part here as my guide. And I'm going to continue working this method all the way until I get to the back of the apex. And this is what's going to allow me to connect the whole haircut together. My angle for my section stays the same every time until I run out of hair or get in line with the apex. Because I'm trying to build this weight now. So Bonnie, what are you moving on to next?
So I'm on the top section, which is my top horseshoe.
Yep.
इसको मैंने निकाल लिया है. अब मैं यहाँ से अपना जो प्रोफाइल सेक्शन है उसको निकाल के You want us to pose for the camera?
I want us to pose. Not after. Can you not do it after?
Now.
No?
Thank you. Okay. So top horseshoe. Yeah. Straight up. Your previous section. That becomes a guide. And I'm going to cut short going long. Okay.
Again, all I'm doing is replicating all this overgrowth.
Yeah. So what this is going to do is that is going to create a bit of internal movement inside. So I have a lot of movement in that hair, and this will be a little heavier than a usual one, right? So now I can use this as a guide और parallel section लेते हुए same ही shape में इसको cut कर देंगे, right? So JJ, yes.
So what I've done, I've continued the same thing on the other side. However, if you notice, I've left a small amount out. Why? Because this is where my personalizations are going to come in. I'm going to start taking little sections and go through this. And then when I style, and when I get the style, I can decide the length and how I frame the haircut using my cutting scissors. Carrying this shape all the way across. Bringing it all the way forward, really over directing that hair. My guide is there, and I continue razoring through. So I know, Bonnie, we've been working on a few models today. So I know as soon as we finish this,
yeah,
our lovely audience gets to see our full collection from today, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So a very vast range and uniqueness of the amount of models we have in the styles. No, I don't think no two styles are the same, right?
Yeah. So how many of you were there for the Iconic stage in the afternoon? Yeah, I know you guys were there. Who else? No? Lovely. Thank you very much. So we did some textured barbering in the afternoon. Yeah, is that what you want to call it as?
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll do a quick recap of that as well, right?
Yeah, sure. So I've now cut the base of my shape. I cut the back with a square layer where I took my one length.
That's how it looks.
I then used that as a guide and took vertical sections, razor cut all the way around. I then sectioned from apex to recession, took my center profiles, set the length, split in half, and took that as a guide this way and over directed everything forward because I want to keep this nice and heavy. When I style it, we're going to get a lot of weight through here. And the same on this side. Look, and I've left this bit longer. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start blow drying the hair and part setting, not fully setting, part setting the hair, because then I can see how the hair's sitting. Then I can go back in with my scissors and start adjusting where I need to adjust, because I know the internal structure is layered. Like, what's going to be uneven is the externals, which if I've already cut the hair, it's going to be very minimal. That's up to me. It's very curly hair. As you know, with curly hair, you pull the hair down, you cut straight. When you let go, it's going to look uneven. Yeah? There's a difference between slight unevenness, which gives you texture and movement, and long hair. This is uneven texture. This is long. Yeah? So, we're going to get in with just some mousse.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do a wrap dry, which allows the hair to fall its natural fall. तो इसमें आप क्या करेंगे, आपका ड्रायर स्टेशनरी रहेगा और आपका ब्रश मूव करेगा. That's all. Yeah? And you're not going to do this. No way. क्योंकि जैसे आप बाल को ड्रायर के साथ थोड़ा हीट देते हैं, आप उसको शेप में मोल्ड कर पाते हैं. तो जैसे आपने यहाँ पे इसको ऐसे किया, you're going to see a twisted hair. Okay, so no way you're going to do that. You're going to just let the hair sit flat. Right? Let's do that.
So, Bonnie.
Yep.
So, after this, you've got to cut the front, style. I've got a challenge for you. Do you reckon you could do it in 10 minutes? I reckon you could.
The fringe?
Yeah, man. Let's see this in shop time.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Do that.
So I want to see this in shop time. Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to quickly go out the back and grab a diffuser.
Oh yeah, sure.
Nobody's perfect. I forgot to pack a diffuser on my trolley, but I know exactly where it is.
Happens.
It happens. I keep it real.
So you can see the hair is already sitting at its natural fall. Now I can mold it however I like it. आप इसको कर्टन बैंग्स में लेके जाना चाहते हैं, लेके जा सकते हैं. अगर आप इसको एक सॉलिड फ्रिंज में लेकर आना चाहते हैं, उसमें भी लेके आ सकते हैं.
So now I'm just using a diffuser to really start bringing out that texture. Low speed, low heat. So I can start framing this whole haircut.
Put your hair forward.
Again, the beauty with this haircut is it's easy manageable. So if my model here, Manish, wants to just walk out of the shower, go like this and walk out, throughout the day it will set. But again, I don't know how it's going to set. So I'm trying to dry it in the most natural way possible. So I can see how this haircut will look on Manish if he steps out of the shower, messes his hair up and goes out. And 2 hours later, how is it going to sit or set? So again, if anybody has any questions,
Yeah, please.
please do feel free to, reach out to us, ask us. Why are we doing certain things? What is the reason? Is there a way you would do this differently? If so, we'd love to know.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody says, JJ, have you tried doing it this way or I do it this way? I'm always open to listening, because you saw it on prep day when you were doing a fringe. We asked you, why are you doing a fringe like that?
Yeah.
It wasn't for me to question you. It's for me to share knowledge and gain knowledge of you. So again, just a nice, simple blow dry. Whilst I'm doing this, I tend to like keeping my blow dries quite simple when it comes to men's hair, because as men, we don't, unless we're stylists, we don't want to be sitting there with blow drying our own hair. We want to keep things as simple as possible. So this is one of the reasons why I choose to do this. You'll rarely see me in my salon using many brushes. I like my vent brush, I like my flat club brush, and a round brush. I like to keep things minimal. Don't get me wrong, if I'm on set and I've got editorial work to do, I'll carry everything. So now already just drying this, I can see there's a lot more weight here, which I can start removing with my scissors. And not so much here. So I know my problem areas where I'm going to be removing weight is here. I'm really trying to bring out as much volume as possible. And then I can go on to start framing the actual front of the hair. How are we getting on with your blow drying, Bonnie?
Blow dry almost done. I'm just gonna quickly flat iron the hair out.
Amazing.
Just to take out the excess frizz. Okay, so here when you're flat ironing it, you're gonna work with a very gentle hand. यानी आप इसको दबा के नहीं करेंगे, एकदम हल्के हाथों से सिर्फ पॉलिश करते जाएंगे. And you wanna keep the iron away from the roots. Okay? So जैसे आप normal rebonding में iron करते हैं उसकी तरह नहीं. You're gonna take it and with very gentle hand you polish just the lens. Okay? See, कभी क्या होता है, एक बार हम iron करते हैं for a texture service और हम iron करते हैं for styling. जितना heat ज़्यादा रखोगे और जितना ज़्यादा iron करोगे उतना ज़्यादा static होता जाएगा, उतना ज़्यादा बाल उड़ता जाएगा और finally there is no point putting a lot of serum and flattening the hair out. Okay, so yeah.
So now I can just come in and start point cutting as I finish off this haircut. Any areas I find as problems. So taking the actual section straight down the center and splitting out the fringe, I've allowed my smoothness to stay here. I can keep the volume on the sides. Like in here, I get the smoothness all the way through. Because the problem areas my client finds is when he has his hair cut, it tends to puff up here quite a lot. So I've retained a lot more weight and length. So the length itself is going to allow the hair to actually sit down. I can now come in and just start slicing away. Again, I don't want nothing perfect because I want this to be a lot more easily manageable haircut for my client. I know I left this bit here. Now I decide what I want to do with it. I'm going to get the texturizing, actually no. Yeah, let's go texturizing razor. And I'm going to start playing around with it whilst Bonnie finishes off his blow drying.
Okay, so I don't like to use the clips on my body. So I always use the cutting collar or the cape. It's a matter of hygiene. Second, आपके clips में कभी color रहता है, कभी bleach रहता है. Last thing you want is वो आपके कपड़ों पे जाए. So use that. Use these sheets for that, not your sleeves. Yeah.
So again, Bonnie, whilst you're finishing off,
Yeah.
I'm going to start going through the models, if that's okay.
Oh, lovely.
Before we get bumped off.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to go through our model. Let's switch it up. Mr. DJ, can we switch the music?
Switch.
Switch. Okay, how do I say that in Hindi? Music badal sakte ho, please? Thank you. I'm getting good in Hindi, na? Gujarati ma bolu? Nice. Let's keep it like this. Bit more. Thoda sa. Perfect. So, my first model. Stand up for me, please. Let's have a walk. So,
Nice.
it finishes and
Love it.
ends up complementing his overall look. Let's have a walk here. You look nice and handsome. We've taken the square layers from the sides, set the external length. From there, what we've done is gone in straight through the center, set our line, and we've actually framed the face. Based on that, we've literally taken everything forward, building up that weight. With the weight, the top of the hair allows it to sit all the way down because of the length. Overall, it's an easy manageable haircut, but it's still looking edgy, you know? Perfect. Come on, sit. We've then got another one from our morning collection. This is Shubham. Shubham, let's show everyone what we've got. So we've gone in with an anime modern style mullet. As you can see, what we did was set our previous length at the back. Similar sort of technique, but all we have done is based on the actual hair type and length, we've adjusted the style. He had quite long hair, but we literally took the fringe, similar to like you'd do a fringe on ladies' haircut, we've literally sliced all down one side, which has allowed it to sit all the way across. Again, he's going to show you by walking to the front. If you have any questions on how we've achieved these haircuts, feel free to ask me and Bonnie at the end. After this, amazing. My next model, please. So this is what we achieved, and let's go. So what we've done is gone for a nice natural taper, an everyday sort of haircut. The client had quite thick hair. We basically started off sectioning from recession to apex, cross-graduated all the haircuts on the side, and then from there, we sectioned and basically gave a very basic square layer at the front with a razor cut. With that, we then went in with our number 4 guard, removed all the bulk, and just gave some nice skin tapers. Next model, please. Bonnie, you're gonna have to tell people what you did on this haircut.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a simple haircut where we work with our client's personality, mostly just to layer it out. So I've used a feathering razor just to add texture around the head, and then tapered the back with a Pro Master and texturize more of freehand. What was the technique? What was the texturizing technique? Pinch and slice. That's right. So I've used a technique called pinch and slice just to add texture to his hair.
And we've got another model up next. But this time, it's going to be someone else's voice. I'm not going to tell you who, you'll see him at the end. Talk to us about this haircut.
So this haircut is basically a mullet with a textured back going into a triangle angle, going right into the occipital bone with a faded side with a skin fade going into a number 4, really complementing his head shape and his style, going into a really nice dove-like, feather-like back end.
Amazing. Bonnie, how are you getting on?
Almost done.
He's almost done. So, just to bring out our collection now, all of our models. So as you can see, this is our whole collection whilst Bonnie finishes off. this is a collection we worked with today. As well as that, I've got my wonderful work colleague, Vin. Can you join me on stage for giving me a hand and helping create these looks with us? And then I think Bonnie's done. Ooh. So Bonnie's gonna, lads, gentlemen, let's have you all lined up against the back. Let the lady of the hour take the floor. And Bonnie, talk to us about this magic. Wow.
Lovely.
What have we done?
Quick recap, what we did for her. Remember, simple sections. So you had it outlined, another horseshoe on the top, and the fringe section. Everything is cut at 0, then elevated at an angle and layered it to remove maximum weight from the hair. And fringe, remember, wrap dry, let it sit at natural fall, point cut a little longer, and then go to the length that you wanted, right? And that's the finished look. That's it.
Let's walk in. Bombay PB from the Ikonic team. We thank you so much. One last walk with everyone, just so everyone can see. Bonnie,
Thank you.
everyone can follow. Pro Beauty India, this is the Ikonic team. We are the Artist 16 for Ikonic. Thank you for having us. And we've got a lot more for them throughout the year, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for staying with us, joining us, seeing everything we've done. If you have any questions, feel free to stop us at any time, but Iconic's paving the way. That's all I can say, baby. Let's go.
Lovely. Thank you very much. See you soon. Thank you.